Hey there, YouTube friends. Today we are continuing with our inverted coaster here in Planet Coaster 2, and we will be getting it into a much more completed state as we hear our animatronic bang behind us. I'm maskedbandit, this is Planet Coaster 2, and I am so thankful that you are here today. Let's get started. So here we are with our inverted coaster Munin, named after one of Odin's ravens from Norse mythology, and hopefully you can hear the lovely sounds we have. We have some forest vibes and some tranquil music, and I don't know if you're catching it, but right here we have this lovely, well, not that. Right here we have this lovely speaker. I wanted to show this off to you. This is one of the new speakers in the game. It is not scalable, as speakers are not scalable in Planet Coaster 2. However, you can use all three. You can either have audio, sound effects, or you can have it play triggerable sound effects. This current speaker is playing some forest ambiance, and they give you a whole list of ambiance tracks here that you can choose from. Very nifty. But what's really cool is you can also have the same speaker do different things. Like this one is clearly playing some music. It's playing one of the musical themes for the Viking theme, and it's just lovely. So I've plopped a couple of these down to really go ahead and add into that whole vibe that we have going on. And I just think that adds quite a bit. I have added some different speakers. Here I've added a smaller speaker attached to this Viking statue here, and it is playing the music as well. So all the different speakers work the same as all the others. There's no difference in how any of them work, unlike Planet Coaster 1. So that's pretty neat. So you have a whole bunch of variety. Here, I'll show you what they look like. So here you can see the different speakers that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of speakers, and that is the height of a real person. We have one of these stone statues. But we have some variety with our speakers now, but they all function the exact same way. So I kind of like that. I dig the different speakers that we have. This would be really cool for some like stage setups. That'll be cool that that's part of the thing now. We don't have to stack these. This is the one that I'm most familiar with in Planet Coaster 1. This was the one that played music in Planet Coaster 1. But like I said, they all do the exact same thing now. So that's just a look at the speakers in the game. But to get back to our coaster here, I have gone ahead and I have let some peeps in. Peeps in this game are quite different, at least their needs. Let's just pause the game and take a look at a peep here, and we can see their needs are a lot more intense in this game. We have entertainment and energy, hunger, thirst, toilet, nausea, panic, and luxury. Not quite sure what luxury is, if that's theming or something. But we also have specific tolerances, which is way more in depth than in the first game. We have a fear and a nausea tolerance, how long they're willing to wait in line, and that differs by guest. Their scenery tolerance, I'm not sure what that means. I guess they need to have a minimum of 6% scenery, which we of course have. But then they have minimum height or maximum height and speed requirements. I'm assuming that's maximum, along with the G's. These are some intense numbers, just gonna say. So you don't have to worry if you're not the most realistic coaster designer. You can get people to ride. But down here, something they really wanted to put a big spin on was their dietary restrictions, fish and legumes. So if you are playing non-sandbox, these are things you're going to have to consider as you build your park. So that's really kind of cool to see if you're into that kind of thing. Personally, I wish they would have put their management choices into more theme park things, like more robust backstage stuff. But this is a cool step forward in Peep design, and maybe this does sort of explain a bit why we have a guest limiter. But if the people are this much more simulated, this many more things are being simulated, like here's someone who won't eat meat or won't drink coffee or tea, I suppose, or well, I wonder if they would buy caffeinated sodas. Is that even a thing? I haven't even looked. So, but there you go. Here's someone who has no dairy, no spice, and no fish. So good luck feeding that person. But anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit more about the management that you're going to have to do with these peeps, how their tolerances have really increased quite a bit from Planet Coaster 1, makes them a little bit more unique, and adds a bit to the simulation, which is cool. But I'm more interested in the theming. So here I've gone ahead and I've started to dress up this queue a little bit. One of the things that's so cool about the path developer, one of the things I do like a lot about the paths, are that in the customizing, you can control whether or not you want the rails to show up, and you can decide what rails you want, and supports as well. And for the queue, that works really, really well, because then what you can do is we go to queue, we pick our wooden queue, and we pick that we don't want railings. So when I go to the brush tool here, and now if I were to click and drag along one side, it removes the railings. And if I click and drag on the other side, it removes the railings. And if I go back in, I can add those railings back, and that's the wrong railing. That's, I think, still the wrong, yeah, that's still the wrong railing. I think I'm using these. But you can add them to both sides, one side, neither side. I think that's so cool. And you can see here I've started to play with that a little bit by removing them here and adding some custom of my own. These are in-game Viking pieces. I think this was really close, so I wanted to add some don't go this way fencing. I could probably do the same here, but I guess just don't be stupid. At some point, guests, please don't be stupid. So foliage this up. I am loving these ferns. One thing I've noticed here on the Mediterranean map compared to the temperate map that I like as well, it doesn't rain nearly as much here on the Mediterranean map. So if you don't like the fact that we can't control weather, that the rain seems to take forever, you might want to consider switching into this map, and that way it won't rain as much. Here's what I've been playing with the paths, though. Here's me fiddling. By playing with the different paths, what you can and can't add, where there are and aren't fences, I was able to go ahead and make some realistic looking switchbacks with that cattle pen that I made in the last episode. You can see here, all I did was I used a chain. There's a chain piece in the game, and what's so nice, scaling here allowed me to make sure that it stretched across the entire opening. It's a little chonky, but it works. And there's also a ball-yard in the game as well to connect your chain to. Looks like I didn't do it correctly, but you could do it. So yeah, I still need to add. I for whatever reason didn't put the line back here, the fences back here. I'm having a hard time with the English today. I didn't put the lines. Oh my goodness, I didn't put the fences back. But you can see this looks pretty good. I mean, yeah, the curbs, you kind of got to look past it. I am hoping that they get rid of those. That would make everything so much nicer with the path tool. It would make the path tool perfect if we could get rid of the curbs. There are some theories as to why we might not be able to. I'm not quite sure about any of that, but we'll see. So yeah, today this big update here was just me fiddling with paths and starting to decorate the queue a little bit. Let's press onward. So we are going to be having quite a bit to show off here in this portion of the update. I do believe this is going to be our final one, and we'll do a POV after this one. We have here our cover now for our switchback is all decked out. I used a lot of the resort pillars here in conjunction again with the Viking pillars. And throwing the shield and the axe on there, along with this roof trim up here, I think really helped Vikingize it. And again, here we are with cross-pollination of different themes, something that I stressed in one of my videos from the other day. I do think there's a lot of flexibility in these pieces, especially with the recolorability. So yeah, you can see in here, it looks really nice. The shade, the lighting, the global illumination is so nice. If you have a video card that can handle that, it is beautiful. So another thing I've done is, again, some more resort pieces, but by changing the colors, we've made these lovely shade sails, and just using some simple beams here to to attach them. And I think this looks rustic enough for a Viking theme if you don't look too hard at the textures. I think this is really nice. And these are the things we're going to be needing to do here until the game is a little bit more fleshed out. There's a lovely log here. Just a look at some of the pieces that you might not have seen yet, as we are still in the early days here. Love these runes. There is an in-game blueprint that's pretty fun that uses these, but I wanted to do my own, just overgrown rune here. They do glow. One of them has the Planet Coaster logo on it, and that's cute if that's your vibe. But we've gone ahead and shorn all this up now with lots of ferns and foliage and pines and even some birch. I do really like the birch. Look, they have that beautiful striped white and black bark. The trees are really nice. Like, they're a little stylized, but overall, worlds better than in Planet Coaster 1. Another thing I did here is I went ahead and I used some of these Viking pillars to cover up the in-game supports, and I think that goes a long way just to making this look a lot more grounded in the theme. And with scalability, this makes this really easy to do, and we don't have to spend hours and hours and hours covering this up. Yeah, this curbing is intense, but with these pillars, I actually don't mind it nearly as much. Here's another look at some of the Viking pieces here that I did spend some time on to make sure it looked really nice as it curved around the queue here. I do think I really enjoyed this view. I think this is just beautiful here. I would love walking through this queue with these Viking statues back again, and just, and one fell over, but I think it's so lovely. The game is beautiful. I mean, the lighting is gorgeous. There are certain angles where it is just stunning. I have found that I do believe I like to keep my camera at 14. I guess that's 2. I like early mornings. I like mornings and mid-afternoons. There can be some washed out times, so you got to be kind of careful. But yeah, this is our queue now, and I think it looks really nice. I did go ahead and do some rock work here in all these trenching areas where we had to dig out of the terrain a little bit, and I think this looks really fun. I'm pretty pleased with how this all turned out, and again, just some lovely views here. Really tried to dress all this up, make it look like it's fitting in the area as there it goes. Yeah. I didn't do as much back here, but I did want to share with you the scenery brush. I've had some people ask about it, and we've been talking about it on Bronation. And this is all done. All these trees here are done with a custom-made scenery brush. So here is the scenery brush tool that I think is really neat. I have created my own. It's kind of fiddly. I don't know how to delete custom brushes yet. I don't know how to do that. There has to be a way. Maybe edit brush and then delete it, or that doesn't give me that option. But I did, pretty sure I came up with a custom brush that's not terrible. I think it's this one, the Pines brush. So the way this works is you start a new brush, create a new brush, and then when you go to edit, you'll have this menu here, and you can pick what kind of brush, what kind of thing you want. And it doesn't have to be trees. Pretty much any scenery piece here can be included in the brush, the scenery brush. It's not a tree brush. It's a true scenery brush. So I added a bunch of the pines that I liked, and I added a rock, just a rock. And then you can even go in and you can control if the tree rotates. You can control the scaling that's going to show up, and you can control how far apart they'll spawn from each other. So like with my rocks here, I made sure that they were kind of more spread out, but my juniper bushes are much closer together. That's kind of neat. I think that's how that works, at least. And that's pretty cool. And so then when you go back into your brush, your size and intensity are already there for you. I would highly recommend that you keep it at a lower intensity, even at middle intensity. I mean, it just, it's pretty intense, but if you bring it down to, 20%, you can just kind of layer it in there. And then, of course, if you want to just absolutely crank it, you're going to get some real thick foliage. And as we zoom in here, you can see, I mean, that's pretty good. That is an easy way. And Control-Z does remove a good chunk of it, which is really nice to see, kind of like how the terrain tools work. But yeah, you can see this works really well. Once you wrap your head around it, it's a really nice tool, and it's going to be really powerful. And I think there's a lot of creative uses for it. But I just used it to spam some trees around to set this in, because I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to level with you. I want to be done with this, and I want to move on to some more stuff. I want to do a bunch of these little one-offs until I feel comfortable enough to build a sizable project. I had a poll on my channel that asked what you would all like to see, and it looks like one-off build. Big parks are your main the thing you're most interested in, which of course I am as well, but I'm not there yet. So we'll do smaller projects and we'll do some tutorials. I might do some like workshop stuff where I create stuff for the workshop and make content out of that until I feel real comfortable about building a park. I know my first park I want to do, I have two ideas. I have a water park idea and I have a full park idea. A theme park idea. The theme park idea is basically going to be play the game with the themes Frontier has. So we will use the main themes of that Frontier has provided us as intended to build a park. And this will be something we keep coming back to add DLCs and things like that in the future. And then I have a water park project that I'm so pumped, but it's going to take a little bit of effort and time, so I need to play with that because I am a little less familiar with the water park stuff. I've been spending most of my time here in the theme park stuff. But yeah, so I just want you to know I am very, very pumped. Been hard to find times to play lately, but it is what it is. But I'm very pleased for my very first build. I think this is okay. I do want to leave it here. I don't want to mess around too much. Are there tools that you would like to see in the game in the next video like this? Whatever we decide to do. Is there a tool you'd like to see? Is there something you'd like to see? Let me know, and I'll try my best to cover it. I figured I would do that here, show you what tools I used as we built this project together. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode and for this project, and we will end with a lovely POV. If you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe and like and comment, and let's get some big old growth going for Planet Coaster 2. Very excited to share with you. So with all that being said, have a great day, great night, great whatever, and I'll talk to all of you later. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Weibo. Kör det där, de här,